The ancient Sanskrit ahimsa is echoed in the Hippocratic oath of above all, do no harm. Even the Abrahamic code states clearly and without ambiguity of any kind, that thou shalt not kill. Neither offer any room for legal weaseling. They are universal laws that apply to all sentient beings. Not just humans, but all earthlings. And any other sentient beings from other planets, or realms. If those laws had been intended to apply exclusively and exceptionally to humans, they would have stated such. Do no harm to other humans. Thou shalt not kill other humans. They do not add such qualifiers. There is no justification for people from a Hindu, Buddhist, Jain, or Abrahamic, Jewish, Christian, Islamic background, claiming otherwise. It is pure denial on their part. A rejection of their religion's own categorical imperative. To argue otherwise is disingenuous, specious, sophistry. There are no legal loopholes. Even the introduction to the Bhagavad Gita contains an interpolation, with the Lord Shiva, present as an avatar, legitimating the coming battle, where brother will slay brother. Shiva does become the destroyer of worlds. But not of individuals. Of worlds. He is not a god of war. He is a destroyer of entire worlds. Eras. Ages. When the time is right. At the end of this age, of Kali. Amarok. Armageddon. The first commandment, the categorical imperative, overrides all other laws, prescriptions, and prescriptions. So we know that Moses is a criminal dictator, not fit to lead anyone anywhere other than into devastation, chaos, wandering aimlessly and fruitlessly, and finally death. Not how he first proclaims the first commandment. Then orders his followers to commit mass murder of their own people. And then genocide. Not just of the military defenders of the nations he wants for himself, but their women, children, and even their animals. The exact opposite of the categorical imperative to do no harm. Thou shalt not kill. Jesus, the Nazarene, was as exemplary a Jain as any character in any narrative ever was. He is a genuine role model. He modeled the categorical imperative. He did not harm. He attempted to prevent others from doing harm, without harming them. And was willing to die, to be murdered, as a consequence. He accepted his fate as a sort of revolutionary suicide. Like Socrates in Plato's narratives. To make a point. That the truth is categorical. The truth that the only way forward is to do no harm. To not kill any sentient being. To make that your first priority. If you consider all the violence and devastation that humans might have avoided, over the last 2,000 years, then any cost of adhering to this vital prescription pales in insignificance. The Hippocratic, Jain, categorical imperative is of course superior to the Abrahamic one of merely not killing. Not harming offers us all protection from the violence of others, as it protects them against any violence from ourselves. Harm is a much more precise and all-encompassing concept that precludes much more than merely not killing other sentient beings. It precludes any form of non-consensual action. It precludes any form of slavery, via force or deception or other trickery like debt slavery. It precludes us forcing or tricking other sentient beings into acting in ways they would not have freely chosen, or accepted in fair and transparent negotiations, if they had not been tricked or forced into submission to our will. Into nominally agreeing to a contract they otherwise would not have. They would never have given their informed consent. Tricking them into some form of constructive consent is an act of violence. An act of harm. Your world will always be the representation of your willingness to harm others. even where it is not your direct intention and will, your willingness to trick or force or simply have others suffer for your benefit, to pay for benefits you enjoy, and even to die in order for you to satisfy your appetites and desires, defines the world you will experience. Obadiah, obedient to Yah, warned us, for as you do unto others, so shall be done unto you. This is an expression of the universal law of karma, in which every action has a consequence for the actor that is reflexive of the action. Unavoidable. Automatic. Those people seeking loopholes and exceptions and trying to weasel their way out of the categorical imperative to do no harm are happy to pay people to construct deceptive, disingenuous, specious, pseudo arguments that can be cited to nominally legitimate or justify or excuse them from breaking the only law necessary for the world to function peacefully. The law that, when broken, makes any hope for peace impossible. This is why we find, in our adulterated religious narratives, all sorts of interpolations, apocryphs, exclusions, commentaries, and other corruptions and distortions. They begin with the categorical imperative. But even the Bhagavad Gita has its eternal truth corrupted, from the very beginning. As we see with Moses, commanding thou shalt not kill, and then commanding mass murder, and genocide. All in the name of his God. As stated, Shiva is the destroyer of worlds, of eras, of epochs. He does not in any way represent killing of individuals. Our old gods, like Mars, were originally vegetation gods. Gods of agriculture. Jesus was a carpenter. Like the only human who ascended to heaven before him, Ganymede, he was a shepherd. The good shepherd who lays down his life for his sheep. Jesus does this in the narrative, as a clear role model. That it is preferable to die, than to kill. Remember, the meek shall inherit the earth. Not by fighting for it, but by surviving, on the sidelines, the self-destructive wars of the elites, and passively inheriting it, after their death. And it will be the earth itself, not the sophisticated built world. Megalithomaniacs will be aware that humans have lived on this earth for millions of years, with countless more advanced societies having existed, and been utterly annihilated, over the course of pre-recorded history. With the Quetzalcoatl or survivors of Atlantis or starmen from Sirius appearing, after the cataclysm, to reboot human civilization, from the earth up. Lord Shiva does not condone violence of any kind. His dance is that of creation. His destruction is constructive and generative. It has nothing to do with human violence called war, which arose from the desire for more cows, the root of our word war in Sanskrit. Until the eventual corruption reoccurs, and the technologically advanced, but ethically infantile society, destroys itself. And the meek shall be left to inherit the earth, and reinstate the original, starting point, of a Garden of Eden. Ruled by the categorical imperative of do no harm. Marcus Heinrich Rebach. Zeus king bringing the water of wisdom of Ganymede to earth. Sovereign Ecclesia. The Free Church, the Vegan Church. The Good Shepherd. Holistic Philosopher. Philosopher Prophet of the Eden Protocols. The Conscientious Narrator. Woden's Day. The 19th of February, the year of Jesus, 2025.